What's up guys, Crane here from LogicLounge.com, and it's that time of year again where the iPhone rumor mill is buzzing. We've been getting a lot of rumors on what the next iPhone is going to be like, what the design is, what the software is, what the hardware is, and I've taken all those, compiled them onto a list, and I want to go over what I really think is the most plausible things we will see with this next iPhone. Now, to get the basics out of the way, the processor will be more stronger, the processor will be more powerful. It will probably have more RAM and will have 5G support. I think those things are three things we can really set in stone that this next iPhone is gonna have. Beyond that, I have absolutely no idea. I have my wish list, which we'll go over here, which I think is gonna be something of a big wish list, but I think we'll see a majority of those things. The first one is that we're gonna have 4 new iPhone sizes. 3 of them will be Pro, 1 of them will be regular, and the baseline iPhone, which is this one here, this is the iPhone 11 Pro, which is smaller size. The base one is gonna be slightly bigger than we've seen before. So this phone could be going up maybe a ½ inch size, maybe about an inch size, but I am very open to that. I would love an iPhone 11 form factor, which is just slightly bigger than the iPhone 11 Pro. I would love that form factor in the iPhone 11, or actually 12 Pro. Now, what else are we gonna see here? The rumor mills recently, as of a couple of days, say that Apple is probably delaying the production of these next iPhones for faster refresh screens. I think Apple is finally getting pushed into this where they're gonna have to accommodate a faster refresh screen, or they're gonna fall behind severely in the iPhone market. So I think they're making this last step. They're probably gonna save it for the next iPhone after this, but I think that they're being forced their hand now to increase either a 90 hertz or a 120 hertz screen. Now the rumor mills have suggested it's 120 hertz, but we won't see until the announcement comes around. In-screen Touch ID is one of those out there rumors that I think is still possible. It is very popular with Samsung, very popular with OnePlus, and I think Apple is finally gonna start taking their way back and bringing an in-screen fingerprint reader. Now, of course, they're gonna obsess about it and get it right. So if not this version, I think definitely the next version we'll see there. Of course, we might see a bump in the base storage. Samsung has done this, OnePlus has done this. Their base storages keep going up. I think we're really at a base storage now where you should be at about 128 gigs, which I think is perfect nowadays for these larger files, these more powerful cameras that have 4K recording, 4K 120 FPS recording. It takes up a lot of space. So I think because the iPhone does not have extended storage, 128 is probably gonna be the baseline with 256 and 512 on top of that. We might see a 1 terabyte special edition, but that could be out there in our realm of possibilities. Battery life, of course, Apple loves to tout their battery life, so I'm sure we'll see slightly larger batteries, more efficient use of the batteries, offering longer and longer battery life. 5G support, mentioned that before. I'm fairly certain that's gonna be set in stone there. If you aren't 5G now with this generation, you are gonna fall behind. There's just no excuse for Apple not to include 5G at this point. USB-C charging, or just USB-C in general, I think we will maybe see in this phone. Definitely probably in the next version after this, but USB-C is kind of where everybody's going. The European Union has opened some inquiries about Apple's proprietary charger, so I'm sure we're gonna start to see some iPhones with USB-C coming very, very soon. Like I said, slightly larger sizes. I'm still hoping, really hoping for the bigger size that's here on my list. And then LiDAR, we already have in the iPad Pro. I think it's gonna be coming to the iPhone. We've seen some things with the software indicating that the iPhone version of iOS is going to have some type of LiDAR in there. I'm iffy on this. For me, LiDAR is not one of those things that I think I would use every day or have an explicit use for, but I think we'll see it nonetheless. So this 3-hole punch camera will become a 4-hole punch camera and move up into a quad camera setup here with 3 physical cameras and then the LiDAR sensor. I'm sure that's what we'll see with this next version. Now, beyond that, I really don't know what else we might see. Maybe reverse wireless charging, maybe, I don't know, no notch. I love no notch. No notch is something that I think is going to be coming to the iPhone, but their design aesthetic really doesn't account for it. They put a lot of sensors on the top of that iPhone that I like. I mean, Face ID I think is one of the best things that have come out for the iPhone. I don't think that they can do it in a way where they'll just get rid of the notch at all. Hole punch, you can't do it because you'll have a whole bunch of tiny holes up there. I think the notch is here to stay. I think Apple does very well with the notch for right now, and I think it would detract, really it would detract if they were to try to remove the notch and go in a wildly different direction. I don't think that's gonna happen this time around. Maybe in another generation after this, we might see it, but I'm not thinking it's gonna happen right now. Other than that, always on display, I think is at the top of my definitely not happening, but really want it wish list. Always on display is great. I'm waiting for it to come to the OnePlus. I loved it on my Samsung. iPhone would take it a step up if they had an always on display. And I think they're moving to that direction, but again, probably not happening. And the last thing that I kind of put down on this list, because there have been some indications that either Apple is playing around with it or that some people are kind of screwing up some sensors, is that some people have said that there might be a notification LED. I loved the notification LED on my Samsung phones back in the day. That was fantastic because you can quickly see if you have a notification waiting for you with the blinking light. You don't have to look at your screen. You don't have to look at the phone. You just watch for the blinking light. But I don't think that that fits with Apple. Apple wants you to look at your device. Apple wants you to pick up that device, be immersed in it, be consumed by it, and putting a notification LED would kind of pull away from what they really want you to do. So I don't think that's gonna happen. Other than that, that's kind of my top wish list there. We'll probably definitely see the higher refresh screens. We'll probably definitely see 5G. We'll probably definitely see something more in the kin of the flat edge design that we've all seen. So something that takes from the iPad Pro. We've already seen the prototypes. I think it's gonna be there. Now, one last thing before I go is I've seen the prototypes. There's one that's the largest prototype that shows a button. Now, if you're looking at my phone, the button would be right here. What is that? I think it's a shutter button. I think it's a dedicated shutter button for the camera. So if you take it and you can press the photo here instead of pressing the volume rockers. I think that that's what that is. We've seen it on Apple's battery packs with them having that dedicated flash button. And I think in the largest iPhone model, they will include that. Most definitely, if those prototypes are to be seen, that is what we'll see in that. So there you go. That's what I think is coming to the new iPhone. If you disagree with me, if you think I missed something, leave in the comment section down below. What do you want to see in this next iPhone? Other than that, thanks very much for watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And of course, I will see you guys in our next video.